Ha 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 ha. He 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 he. Ho ho ha ha ha. Ah, I didn't see you come in there due to the fact that I was enthralled in this book. See, it's all about the history of bread. So it's all wrong. You see, this book, it was published by the government, and you can never trust anything the government ever says. You should trust me instead. I know the real history of bread, not this pish-posh dog water that they're shoving down your throats. So I'm here today to expose the truth, the true history of bread. So our story starts back at 100 BC in the Tuk-Tuk Republic. Now, there was this little guy named George who was kind of sick of all the food around. So he grabbed some flour and some wheat and some yeast and he just and then he made bread. Bread was so popular that George managed to start an entire business out of it. It was called George's Bakery, and it spread across the entire planet, which at the time was just the Middle East. And George was feeling pretty good about himself, so he started making other breads, other than the current breads, which led to 4 different types of breads. And everything in the bread community was pretty good until the war. So you'll remember Jesus, right? That popular guy died on a cross. Well, basically, he held this little supper one time where he said, "Hey guys, guess what? My body is actually bread." And everyone was like, "Jesus, you silly guy. Your body isn't bread. It's body." And he's just like, "Nah, fam. I'm bread." And then Jesus died. 3 days later, some guys walked into his tomb and was like, "Yo, Jesus." But Jesus was dead. So they opened up his tomb and they were like, "Whoa. Bread." Except this wasn't any regular bread. This was Jesus bread. It turns out everyone wanted their own piece of this Jesus bread. So that started the 3-long-year war, where basically it was a 3-long-year war between everyone, basically. Luckily, the people at George's Bakery and the bread mercenaries they had walked over there and said, "Yo guys, this is our bread," and then took the bread, where it is now being held in the International Bread Museum to this very day. There was no really other big bread wars, apart from that second one, until Jeffrey Grain started a little bit of a mob, a little bit of a mafia type situation. He called it the Yeast Police, and he kind of took over every single government on the world, and then forced George's Bakery to no longer sell bread. And obviously, the bread fanatics out there weren't too happy. So they had to rebrand the entire George's Bakery to a company they called Coles. And it has become a regular grocery that sold regular things, except for bread. And things were looking pretty bleak, not gonna lie, until 2008, when the current CEO of Coles, Michael White, stepped down and let his son, Matthew White, into leadership position. So Matthew decided to make an elite team of bread warriors, consisting of him, his sister, Wanda, John W.H., and myself. And basically, what we did was we nuked the Yeast Police. We just... And that was basically what happened to the Yeast Police, just a big... And then everything was kind of alright for a while. You know, things were pretty good. Coles was able to sell bread again. They opened up a bakery in Coles. They decided to sell the rest of the stuff as well, just because, you know, they've been doing that for a while. They just keep the rest of the groceries. And then Matthew and everyone else lived happily ever after. The end. Now please, do me the respect of getting out of my house.